welcome one more time for the Mind Culture podcast. And today we have not one, not two, but five amazing, or maybe four without me, amazing choreographers from all over the world. And we are here in this beautiful village in Ligatne, Latvia. And perhaps you could just, simply tell us who you are and what you do, because I'm probably gonna demolish your names completely. So please tell us who you are.
You start.
I start. Great. I'm Vita, Malahova. I live in Italy. I work in physical theater. And I'm here to create a performance with the masks here in Ligatne.
I'm Niels, Claes. I'm Belgian, but I live and work in Lithuania in Sheko Dance Company, and I'm here to create a choreography in the festival.
I'm Małgorzata. I'm Polish, but last 4 years I lived in Portugal, and that's where I created most of my works as a dancer and choreographer. And recently I started to live in Austria.
I'm Elias Choi-Buttinger. I'm from Austria. I'm living there now. The last year I was traveling a lot in Asia and also the States with my wife, who is from Macau, China. So we also have this family connection to Asia. And now I'm here with my colleague Hygin Delimat to choreograph for this festival in Ligatne, in a wonderful place in the nature.
Yeah, so it seems like we are all in a situation in which we have to make a piece. Like, can you
Right?
can you tell me more about this festival? Like, what is this festival that we are at?
For me, it's very important that it's so connected the nature and art and the focus of ecology in this festival, because generally most of my works are associated with environment since a long time. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I would like to come here and have this opportunity also to work site specific, which is another thing that interests me, and I think that's maybe what brought us here.
So this festival is something that we applied for
Yes.
online.
Yes.
No, I didn't apply, but it's like if you're from Latvia, it's the only festival that is in site-specific context for dance. And like normally they ask some people local just to make sure that there will be some people they know, and then most of the people applied were from abroad because it's totally not known festival.
Yeah, it was for me also weird because actually from Lithuania there were quite a lot of people that came here in previous editions, but still not so many people know about it. And for me it's also something which is it's a very important festival actually, like talking about ecology and how to connect art with ecology and environment and saving it. That's the thing with drawn me also to the festival, because as with you, like the topics which I normally work with are social topics and environmental topics, and this was a good place for me to combine both together. So, and it was very nice that they selected my
I think
idea.
what is particularly for this festival interesting that they also integrate a lot local community, like in the organization, and also I hope, and I think that used to be like this before, that a lot of local people come to see the play. And I can tell you, like many people, they don't go to see contemporary dance performances.
But they go here because it's in rural area and
they are from
there is
here.
a culture.
And also this place is quite touristical, so it's like, for example, I know people who will come because they would like to see the place, but then there's this festival, they have no clue what is it about, but they will just come and see. And I think that's really cool, really integrating local environment. And that's how I actually know about the festival, because I work here in Latvia a lot with social theater and different, the social groups that are
Excluded? maybe?
excluded. Yeah. So I was interested to come because of that, and I was also hoping that maybe there would be more possibility to work with local people, but I just didn't thought it's too
I
much.
think in general, in
I
Latvia,
do.
I think it's very special that the people, I think I can talk in general, but I don't know so specific, but what I experienced now, they are very connected to the nature and the environment. And it's really special. Like, I mean, this hype of, ecology and climate change and stuff that started the last years, it's getting all over Europe now, but I feel in Latvia this is something that is in the culture and is since a long time or since
It's
ever
not
always.
artificial.
And
no.
it's really beautiful, and I think that's also makes a really nice connection point of the arts that come here to the people who live here and who are really connected with the dance and what we experienced yesterday, also with the like traditional like folk dances and singing. Also, I think this it's kind of connected all of this traditional culture and also the land.
Well, it's the same in Lithuania because they have this very old and strong pagan history, and it all comes from. I mean, paganism is part of like it all talks about nature and the connection with like nature, and it never died out. Like it somehow stayed within the history and in society
Really
still, and
special,
it's a
and,
very
Yeah, it's very strong. For example, I was working in the the elderly people's home. And I asked just one question: what are you missing of being here inside? And completely everyone answered the nature and the ability to go in the nature physically also, because most of them they cannot go alone anymore, or just like possibility to have a completely free schedules of like they would say mushroom picking and stuff like that. I was actually expecting they would say like I don't know,
but you know
my children or something, but nature is more.
Yeah, you know also why that is that it never died out, because as much as I'm not promoting Soviet times, but in Soviet times everyone in Lithuania and Latvia got assigned a summer, like not a summer house, but an outside of the city garden place, and everyone built like a summer house there. And when they have time in the weekends or during holidays, and they always go there, and it's like in the natural ways. Everyone planted a lot of trees, and they have their gardens there. They go there like mostly every weekend, especially the older generations or like the middle-aged generations, to take all the fresh vegetables from the garden. And it's something which is like that. It kind of helped, I think, with keeping that connection. Although I'm not favorable of the time era. But I think this is I mean, I don't know, I'm not from here originally, but as far as I know, what I experienced, this is also like, that brings some kind of connection.
I mean, in Poland we also have those, but it's not for like everyone. I have the feeling that it's long gone and it's just a like old generation.
It's still
maybe.
very strong. In Lithuania also most people have like saunas there, so they like just go on the weekend, they chill with friends, and I mean, for some, I don't know why or how this happened, but like almost everyone has like a summer house from the parents, and like it's just
Super
and
cool.
they love to go there.
And I think also something that is really special here, I don't know about Poland so much because I didn't go there to the countryside, but compared with Austria, the nature is really untouched in a certain way. Like in Austria, we have a lot of nature and a lot of mountains, but there's almost no place where I can go where I feel like I go into a like original forest, like something that is not cultivated by humans.
Yes.
And I mean it's maybe partly cultivated, but it has a spirit still,
Yeah, but
and in Austria
there
it
used to
is
be much
gone.
more.
Yeah.
Like now, actually, I left Latvia like 15 years ago, and I have a feeling like, wow, like original forests almost are gone. Everything is so
And if you go
built.
to Austria,
But
it's a
probably,
completely different
yeah,
level, yeah.
I have a feeling like everything is changed and like all those paths but probably compared to
And
other
I think this
countries,
also makes something to the people, because I mean, in our Western society, we are trained to like something that is cultivated. But if people really listen to their heart, something like this around here, it just touch you. I think.
Yeah, it's so much more.
Yeah, I feel that also like, yeah, you said about the river. I mean, I didn't see the river yet, but you said that there's like you have been everywhere, I guess, in Austria, and you said like you have not seen a river that is so free.
Yeah, it is like just not regulated. You know, it's a big river that is, I mean, I don't know, maybe 50 meters wide or something, and you just look, and it's just natural. It's just as the nature made it. And in Austria, I think it's almost impossible to find just a little piece of river that is like this. Is everything regulated, everything made from humans to be as they wanted.
Yeah, totally.
For me, it's like a big change because to live in Vienna where everything is asphalt and concrete, it's literally like there used to be like trees in alleys, and I always like the same about Polish cities. I think the same about cities in general, but there always used to be like whenever there was a street, there used to be trees on the side, but because the car needed space, they like destroyed everything of that. So like it's so nice to see some trees that grow.
But is this actually in Poland similar like here, or is this also?
I mean, you have parts of Poland that are like this, like somewhere in the north, somewhere in the east especially, or somewhere in the middle where no one lives. But generally,
it doesn't go together with humans so much. Maybe like.
I mean, there are places. Poland has a lot of different places, but I think in general has been a lot of industrialization.
Yes. Also I feel like we lost this kind of pagan tradition that here is still so present, and also I think this holds a lot this connection with the nature in the nation and in the country.
The setting, what I see though, is that with the younger generation, as far as I could see, because of internet, the pagan traditions are slowly going away. Like our generation, like 30s, they're still very connected to it. But then when you go to like the 18 and younger, the parents try, but you can see that there's less interest for it because they're so focused on wanting to evolve and catch up somehow in a way, or like that they lose then this, which is normal, like it's a normal like thing, but yeah, I can see that also.
I think this has to do with like some kind of national complex. That is something that follows the Soviet Union times, being behind, and like you see all the West, and you see all the wealth of the West, and you want to be like people who have it better.
But it's not better. I mean, in a sense, that's why Lithuanians or Latvians now also are like, but why did you stay or move to Lithuania? Like, because of this, there's still this like connection, and also community-wise, not also again downgrading countries where I was before, like Belgium, Netherlands, but in a sense, for me, it feels more like once you're in a community here in these ex-Soviet countries, you're really in the community. It takes a while, it's a bit of a struggle, but once you're in, and you don't have that so much. Like, I feel people truly care about each other here, while...
We are not so many.
Yeah, also, like... But I feel because of capitalism, I think also, and how the capitalistic system works, in Belgium, yeah, people care, but in the end, they care still the most for themselves.
Right.
And I feel here you still have a true care, like somehow for other people also, and which is a hard thing to say, but I do believe in that. I mean, that's my opinion. So.
Wow. Yeah, I feel that
I can imagine that it's like this.
Like I mean, I live in Vienna, and I feel like there are some communities that are more honest, obviously, but generally, like if I want to be a part of, let's call it like a contemporary dance community, there's a lot of interactions that are very artificial. I don't know. You say that is more real here.
in business and art, I'm talking about natural connections. Like business art, it's not. I mean, you would say not a natural connection. It's like more, professional.
Yeah.
In that sense, then it's difficult. Yes, because people have to fight so hard to get ahead, and with so little amount of money, basically, or like resources.
That's what I also thought.
Yeah.
Because of lack of the money, sometimes there can be tensions in this
Jealousy.
case. But the same time, because of lack of the money, there is also a lot of understanding. But I feel when I come to work here, there's just some simplicity because nobody has the money, and it's a kind of also gives a it has another relationship between each other as
I
well.
have the feeling that money complicates things. That's for sure. Like now, I have this event like in Vienna, and of course we're still at the very, very, very beginning. So there's no money. Like it's a just platform for anyone because there's no place to perform in Vienna if you're like not a part of the inner circle, and there's no place. So there's a friend of mine. He has a space, and I started doing this program there. But because we have no money, it's so easy. Just like you come, you have time, and you can present your work. That's it. It's like...
and then you actually also get the people that come for the right reason, you know? Like in some case, I also, like what I like in Lithuania, because artists don't have fixed prices like they do in the West. So if you ask a composer to compose something for you, they will always just check how much money you have and how interested they are in the project that you're giving. Because for them, it's not always about the money, it's also about helping an idea to grow. And this would never happen in Belgium or the Netherlands. Like they have fixed prices, and if you can't pay it, sorry, I don't do it. And in a sense, for me, I would want to give them more money or like, because then life is easier also for them to survive. But then it's also, then it comes down to what do I really believe in and what do I really want to support. And I for me, that gives an extra value to the work that you do.
Nice. Okay, my question, because you say size specific this, size specific that. What is size specific? I don't know. Can you tell me a little bit? What does it mean, size specific?
Bam! Here we go.
Because I'm confused.
It's
like for me in my work, I'm really interested in the energy of the place, let's say. And I think the energy of a place has a lot of different levels, but I'm trying with my dancers really to take time to get in touch with that. And especially here in a place that has such a special energy, I think it's even something more interesting or valuable to work into that. And we tried to develop the story of the choreography kind of from what we got out of the place and out of the environment.
Yeah, I think like for me it's something that you come and you have a kind of ready scenography that can inspire your work. But in this case it's interesting because we came already with prepared ideas, more or less, and we did not know what will be the spaces. So then you somehow try to bring these two together, that your concept fits to the space. But normally when I have a freedom just to first choose the space, then it's more coming from the space itself, the idea of the piece. So it's inspired with the architecture or with nature, like here.
Yeah, for example, I chose to work in cemetery, and I really feel this energy of the space because like we walked inside.
Sorry.
It's okay. I know every time I say work in cemetery, people are like,
It's like,
oh. But I chose because of that, because actually I chose because I thought like, already when we came there, everyone just started to behave a little bit weirdly, and I was like, what is this place? Why is it so like, why can't...
Wait a second.
Psyche?
Yeah. We let you pass. Okay. Okay, tell me more about the cemetery.
Yes.
A beautiful moment.
I'm interested.
Okay.
What I wanted to say, yeah, like I was thinking, like to make an artwork in the cemetery, I knew it's gonna take a responsibility, like because whatever we do now in the cemetery, it just always looks too much or not respectful, or for someone like someone feels ashamed, and I actually chose because of that, because I was interested, like what is this all our like cliches and prejudice about this place, and suddenly like we are just cutting out now things because everything is just too much. Or I also suddenly feel like the ladies passing by there, like maybe it's not respectful. And I think that's like for me site specific, like whatever I planned before, the space is saying me like
So it's like you put a challenge on yourself there.
like
You want to solve a problem. There's a problem. Like working in cemetery comes with cliches and stigmas, and you
I
want
think
to somehow go against that.
I could say that, but I realized it during the work. Before I wouldn't think that it would be so weird. But also because I don't know how it's gonna be in the performance.
We'll close this door.
So it's coming the cemetery.
Thanks.
I didn't know it's gonna be like this.
Thanks.
Some years ago, I was performing with a group from Macau in Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, and the piece was called "Picnic in the Cemetery." And after the performance, we went to a cemetery in Edinburgh to kind of get in touch with the energy and the feeling there. And then it went already dark, and when it was already dark, we left the cemetery. Well, it was a little bit bright still in the background, but yeah, you could basically just see silhouettes. And then we were a group of, for sure, 15 people in very strange outfits from the performance, and suitcases and stuff, and walking down. It was like stairs, really long stairs coming down from the cemetery to the street.
Near the Edinburgh.
And then we were a crowd of people coming down there, and then a guy passed by. It was a gate, you know, the entrance, and then he looked up. And suddenly he screamed like and then we heard the footsteps down the street da, 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 da,
Oh my god.
until like the whole street down. It was gone.
Latvia people are more brave.
Yeah, in Latvia they were just like.
No, because I met an old lady alone with a mask on my face in the cemetery. She just stopped and she looked at me, and I get so scared. I was like, this is so wrong. I'm alone. I'm having this mask on my face, and I'm like,
Because you're working with masks.
yes,
In the
I do.
cemetery.
Yes. And it's masks I made from real people's portraits. So it was. Now I seem so creepy. Oh my god.
No, but it's so cool. Like the idea is so cool.
No, it's like a tribute. Do you say that?
Tribute.
Yeah.
Tribute to those people who lived, and I decided it's gonna be in cemetery.
What are the names of the people?
Like one is Ludwig, but he's not.
Inspired by you.
He's not part of the performance. I decided not to use this mask.
So there is like an inside joke because Vita
Oh no.
used to call Elias Ludwig for like a day and a half, and that's why it's so funny for us. But
And I look like the mask.
and she said that Elias looks like
Yeah.
Ludwig.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the end
That's
of the
it.
joke. It's
And
not
Ludwig-
funny at all anymore.
No.
Yeah, and Ludwig is not part of the performance.
Anyway.
He's
Now
out.
it's Elias. Okay, so
Let's go.
so we have. Can you tell me, because we all got some dancers from the festival, so there is like a big group of people that attends as participants, and all of us got like dancers assigned, or they actually could choose who they want to work with. So I, for example, have 3 dancers, and you have 4, and you have other numbers of dancers. Could you tell me like how is the experience working with people? How is this experience with, who do you meet? How is the meeting like?
I think it's interesting because the experience, at least in my group, is very different of each person. Or like kind of, I have two experienced dancers, then two with no experience, and one dancer but very young. So it's also the age thing, like the age is from 15 to 30. So it's somehow interesting how to find a common language that will be understandable for everyone in terms of movement, and which kind of tools I can use that it will be understandable and possible to do for the not experienced ones, and in the same time not boring for the dancers, professional dancers. So yeah, it's interesting challenge. Also the fact that we did not know before who they will be, so you could also have prepared some completely different image in your mind for the amount and for the experience, and now it's changing everything.
So in the application for the festival, when I wanted to create, I asked to work with people of different ages and experiences. Because of the whole COVID situation, it's a bit like that we have to deal with less people, which is fine, because I still have different ages and experiences, just a smaller amount. And for me, that's very interesting because I wanted to see how professional dancers would work with people from the community that don't have dance experience, and how that would kind of make the professionals more human. And also how the community could learn and experience new things. And one of the people from the community, a woman, she is doing a duet with one of the professional girls, and she had to cry afterwards. And this is what I wanted to, like, I didn't want to make her sad, but I wanted to achieve that they would experience something different.
And she's part of the festival. She's participant, or
She's actually she's the director of the culture house here.
Oh wow, nice!
Yeah,
You
like it
work
was
like real the city people.
Yeah.
That's super nice. It's cool.
So like
That
two
they
of
said
them.
yes. I'm very impressed that someone
Yeah, I
said
was
yes.
very happy also. And then one guy never did anything with movement before, and he was like so happy to like because he had like this duet with the other girl, and like I didn't want him to touch because it's a bit more fragile, man and woman, like, you know, to kind of have them. So I kind of have this like ghosting with the hands thing, and he was like so happy and excited about it. It was just like, and this is a nice thing because in my company where I work in Lithuania, they work a lot with community also. I never created with them or was never in the process, but I spoke a lot with them, like what are good tools to use, and I wanted to experience it for the first time myself because I only worked with professionals before. So, yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. Like that you get a chance to also I think the thing here is motivation. Like this is something that I experience here intense. So like you have people. So I have professional, maybe more professional dancers, but they are so extremely motivated to be a part of your creation, so that the work is just flowing. It's really it's incredible.
It goes really fast. They work really fast. They're very like, and they listen and they really like. I also told in the beginning, like, it's not just me, my work. I mean, if you have any suggestions or whatever, like, or concerns, talk to me. And like, I mean, which is hard to do for them, but then also it's like, how open do you make them feel? And I feel like they're very assertive. Like, they're just like, no, this for me doesn't work. I mean, just like, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe if you don't feel like that is a good way to go, then you as a choreographer have to find another solution, because they have to feel comfortable and it has to make sense to them also. They're inside, you're not.
Well, they're gonna perform it,
Yeah.
so if you want to make them perform well, so I guess they need to be kind of okay with the work.
Yeah.
That's for me, I like, I had this, I didn't know who I'm gonna get, because at first it looked like no one is interested in working with me because
I think we all had that, but it was
We
just
all had
because
that moment,
there were
don't
only
you
like
worry.
1 or 2 people per person, like that
Yeah.
previous.
I was looking at like all this because there was this presentation of choreographers, everyone saying something about the project, and it's like, and then suddenly like Elias has 4 girls, and there's like 3 people going there, 5 people going there, and there's I had this like one girl coming to me, and then after a while like and a guy, and that was it. And the next day I had 1 more person. So in the end I have 3. 3 is a good number to work with, I think.
But I had actually 4.
I had, yeah, well, that's another story. But as I say, I had 3, and I'm really happy because they're experienced. Like one is a performer, one is like a professional performer slash choreographer. The other one works in a dance theater, so she's like a full-on dancer, and one is studying acting, but he has been dancing his whole life because his mother is a director of this festival. So it's pretty cool. But I also had this little boy. Yeah, you wanted me to mention it. Like, unfortunately, I was also like at just before we started working on the first day, like there was like a guy coming with a little boy and said, "There's this little boy. Maybe he wants to join." And I say, "Okay." And then we started working also with the little boy. There's the problem. He's not an amateur. 100% because he's a breakdancer and he's very skilled breakdancer, but that's even worse, like because he's in this age, like 14 years old or something. He's in this age where this is the whole truth. I feel, and he will never it's really hard for him to step out of the comfort zone. So then the work looked like on the first day, so I had this open-minded dancers there, and I can tell them anything and they do anything, and I had this little boy that needs all the attention in order to make a little step. So it was like always the negotiation between him and them, but in the end the boy decided he was not really into it. Although I myself, I'm a breakdancer and I can totally understand where he's coming from. I can totally relate and I can totally give him tasks, but the problem is if he's not open enough then to deconstruct at least a little bit the breakdance vocabulary, then that's not gonna work for what I wanted to do this time. And that's a pity because I always wish because breakdancers have so many skills, they're so trained and they're so awesome, but somehow it often comes with narrow-mindedness.
Yeah,
That's
it's
totally.
I think it's really like this kind of age still thing and discovering like the 15 years old girl is a ballet dancer, the one that I have in the group. And on the first day, I gave them a task to fix some movement phrase and kind of improvise. And she told me, but I don't know how to do it because always the choreographer gives me the steps in ballet. And but then somehow yesterday she was so fast and already like so much more open-minded with creating the material that I was really happy that somehow she seeing like how we work in the group, she went also out of this.
But I have a feeling girls have a little bit more persistence. My boy lasted only 2 hours, even though I encouraged him completely. Like I was like, yeah, you can do handstands, you can do
But
you can do.
Boys in that age are they're just very what's the word, impatient. They're very impatient and it's very it gives complications. I also have a 17-year-old folk dance girl that never did anything else before, but she learns so fast.
I had also a older girl. I don't know exactly how old she is, but definitely quite older. And she also has some experience in folk dance, and I think she didn't dance for quite a while. She's more into fitness things and stuff. And for her it was also so difficult to kind of do anything else. Or even I think even I couldn't really make her do her folk dance things because I think it's also already quite far away for her somehow. And it took her 2 days. On the second day she told me, I will think about how I can do that. And then I was already a bit worried if she will come again and stuff. But on the next day, yesterday, she came And then we went to the place, and I told her to really connect to what she experienced. And the first day she told me already that she hears the water so loud because the cave above the water. And then she really started working. I left her alone there. But for me, it was kind of like my challenge to make her arms move, because I think that's something that she never really did. You know, in folk dance, I think it's not so like what to do
It's
with
always
your
kind
arms.
of
Yeah.
placed somewhere.
Yeah, and then there was sand on the floor, and she told me she likes the floor and like stamping. And then I asked her if she maybe can use the sand in the air. And you can really draw with it in the air, you know, and also make the connection to the water down. And then she started this, and then she told me she don't like the sand.
Oh.
And then I asked her maybe.
That's an anticlimax.
No, but it's okay, because actually anyway I was not interested in the sand. I mean, it was also nice, but in her movement. So I asked her if she can do it without sand, what she just experienced with the sand, and then she started doing this, and it was really a beautiful transition from the ground and from the materials that are around into the movement. Yeah. And I think it's our challenge somehow to
make them
to find the ways for them that work.
But have you worked before with the non-dancers? Like before this festival?
I mean, I worked as a teacher
But like for creation a piece?
also, like yeah, because I wasn't, like, it was a competition team, but I didn't just want to give them steps and everything. For me, that's just like, they had that already, and it was kind of like my challenge to open their minds a little bit. So I was also busy with that with them, and it was a struggle in the beginning, because I didn't work with amateurs since I ever started in the professional field. And not artistically, like sometimes, yeah, technique class, but so it took a while for me to get really them open enough and to make them understand. And so I got the tools from that time. So now it's easier for me to do. I'm happy. I realize it now, because I was a bit afraid. I was like, okay, I asked for like different, you know, like all this. But in a sense, I noticed now that I learned from that time, and I'm happy that I now know this, because I can use this more.
I think there is like the talking with dancers and talking with non-dancers, like as long as you're talking with human being, it doesn't matter if they're dancer or non-dancer in a way. And I think maybe there is this misconception, or for sure I had this misconception, I guess everyone has this misconception at the beginning, where you work with like people who know your vocabulary, who know a vocabulary, that this is the way we speak. But actually, if you can transcend a little bit your work through that dance steps idea or dance strategies idea, then it becomes just a communication.
I actually really like to start in the beginning of a work with new people, always to like see what they are interested, why they are there. I think that's the most important question. Why are you here? What do you want? And from this, I mean, sometimes nothing is coming, but mostly there's coming something, even if it's a little bit. And if you try to take this, you can really, I think, make it much more easy for them to enter into the process. And
but that's
very
what
true.
I thought that, for example, like the difference between giving the classes in theater for kids that I do, and for example, maybe because I have a very young girl, 12 years as well, it's just like it's like here people chose to be. So whatever experience, non-experience, I feel like there's motivation to be here and do something. And in some theater classes, I have a feeling the parents really want them
them,
to do that.
Really,
And then you
That's
can feel the
another
work is
thing,
completely
like,
different. I felt like
Babysitting is like, no.
that's why I felt like it's so difficult sometimes to create for the schools for this like final, you know, the graduation, whatever course performance, and I felt such a struggle sometimes, like to do anything there. It's like it's also not interesting for me anymore. And here it's like it's obvious people want to be here.
Yeah, but this festival, I think it's such a nice thing. I would love to participate, because I mean, maybe when I was younger, but it's such a nice full experience because, for example, yesterday we were like doing all these folk dancing things in the forest. It
This
was
festival has so
incredible.
much cool stuff. I don't know, like it's the first time for me going to a festival where you have so many different experiences. It's just like it's a bit of an overload sometimes, but it's also really
But also
cool.
it's nice you can choose what you want
Yeah,
and what not,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's actually really great.
But there's so many festivals where like the experiences are just purely dance based, and here is not like that. There are some also experiences that are more
Really
just
community based.
Yeah.
But that's completely one of the goals of the festival, and I also
So good.
like saw it yesterday because I felt it was really cool because also dancers were like from the festival super open in this folk event because that's not obvious.
That's
Yeah.
not always.
It's not at all obvious
I
that all
thought
these
so, yeah.
contemporary artists come and they just jump in the grass around the fire. This is not like
No, they're
banal.
like, yeah, true.
So that I think was a cool thing that actually just like everyone keeps it simple and open.
They have a smart selection here, I feel, like about
Yeah.
the people that they select to come and work. Because I feel every one of us is very open and very like, oh, let's just do it and like, let's have a good time. And there's no, like, no one looks down on each other. And this is, in a sense, rare.
To
Sorry
say?
to say, yeah. Well, I
It's
think
rare.
we all know this.
Yeah.
and-
I don't know.
and-
Tell me more about it. I don't know. I want to learn about the contemporary dance. I don't know, environment. How
Oh
is
yeah,
it?
yeah, you do. I don't want to make enemies. No.
So you say there is some kind of rivalry in the contemporary dance.
It's not about rivalry, but it's more. I don't know, like cockiness.
So I do my work, and therefore I'm so much more cool than you because you do your
Yes.
work, and your work is obviously worse than my work, and therefore
Not worse. It's just more. But I mean, there's this necessity in artists in general to stand above other people because they're an artist.
do you think it has to do something with postmodernism and the power dynamics?
No, it
of
has
the-
to do with insecurity.
Okay.
They're so insecure actually because they don't have a lot of money because of what they do. They don't get a lot of respect from people because of what they do. I have it also. I mean, last year I caught myself, I was having a really difficult time because it was kind of difficult for me in Vilnius to find work and I was really struggling, and I got also this like I became this personality that I hated. I became jealous and I also became like miserable and I wanted to look better than I did, and it was just this like I really had this adversity of myself. So I understand where it comes from. It's just, are you aware and do you want to change it or do you want to stay in it? So it's kind of this, and I really don't like this, and I hate arrogance. I cannot stand arrogance. It's something which for me is like, just be yourself. If you really like all this artistic whatever stuff, like really then like it, it's fine. But I notice when it comes from a place where it's really from you or when it's like made.
Pareizi? No.
Jā, mēs te vienkārši filmējam, bet jūs ej droši. Tur tālāk. Mēs arī. She just said it's the first time I'm here. And I said, also, we are here first time. As you see.
Yeah, I feel you completely. Like there's, for me, like I mean, of course, you notice this in the people sometimes who work already for a long time in the field, but also for me, the most of the things that it was the first period after university. Like suddenly you graduate and suddenly you're like you got your first job and therefore you're cocky about it. Like I mean, I don't know. I for sure had it as well.
Oh, me too. I'm very sure. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I would look back at, if I would meet myself when I was 23, I would hate me. Like, it's just, I mean, that's just, it's about knowing yourself. And also, like, I needed a lot of time to grow, both as an artist and as a person. I had to learn a lot of stuff and the hard way. And, like, also just, but it's about whether you want it, yes or
And I
no.
think also like jealousy is really a big topic.
Oh,
And
yes.
also, I guess every one of us knows that. It's like, you see this one gets this job, this one. I feel like, for me personally, sometimes like social media is pushing this more and more. That's why I from time to time stop like Instagram completely or Facebook.
Oh, I just
if I feel that
unfollow people,
it
like,
pulls me into a destructive
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, true.
Yes, and I think it somehow takes away your creativity because you start to judge yourself so much and compare to the others
Yeah, totally.
that you lose
true.
this courage to just create what you actually want to create.
And just appreciate what you are and what you do.
But on
And
a
for what are
positive,
you doing it if you don't appreciate it?
yeah,
It's
true.
like-
But on a positive note, because we're also open, at least me as a creator here, I feel like I can just do what I want, and even like don't have to think like, oh, what would other people think about it, because I know that you guys would support the idea anyway and just find your own way. And of course we have taste and like, but in a sense there's also this like, okay, we had only a week and we're all aware of this, and I feel also like most of us are still searching about who we are as creators, which gives it a very open feeling. And for me that's very nice, because that's why I came here, to experiment.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
like,
It gives you not too much pressure that you have to produce. And
no, I mean,
So
we
you
want to
do-
do good, and
For
that's
sure.
also, we all want to do good. I feel that, but it's also just like, yeah, there's a place for error, and error is beauty, you know, like
I think there is a place for error even if you work for 9 months. I mean, there is always a place for
Sure,
error.
but it doesn't always feel like that.
Yeah, for sure, it doesn't feel like
That's what I mean. Like here, like I mean, you're in an environment where you feel like completely comfortable, which when you work for 9 months somewhere, it might not always feel like that. But for me, yes, like mistakes is how you learn. And it's funny because I made a choreography in Vilnius 2 years ago for the last year art students of the National Academy of Dance, of the National Ballet School. And during the premiere, I was sitting in the light booth and I was just like, what is this shit I created?
Oh, I have it every time.
They were
Yeah,
great.
that's what I thought as well. I'm like, I often feel this way. I'm like, oops.
But before the premiere, you don't see it. Like, it's just this, like, there's no, like, somehow. And then I was sitting in the booth and I was like, holy shit. Like, it was so bad. I mean, they were great.
Yeah.
But it's
But the
just,
work.
the work is just like, what is this?
I
Like,
think I'm quite lucky in this because usually I join my own performance.
I do that
you
as
can
well.
see.
I often do that as well, so I don't have a chance to judge too much. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, the thing is, it can be good or it can be bad. That's true. But it's also personal for everyone. So maybe someone comes and loves it. You know?
yeah, I know.
That happens. And if you have more people that love it than hate it, then it's already kind of a success.
Yeah, true. But it's also, it's very important that people either love it or hate it.
Okay.
If there's no real opinion, it means that it's a bad
It's
work.
the
Like for me,
worst,
this
yeah.
is like the worst work.
Mm-hmm.
But
Either
then-
people have to love it or hate it. Like and that's a good thing. People not liking it is good because it means like there is something in it that triggers them. The work itself. I don't mean the quality of the work, but I mean the work itself, like as the idea and like how it's worked out.
You know, in Latvia, audience, like, they're very direct. They never try to give any sympathy. They're very honest. Like, you know,
If they're lucky enough.
You see it on stage, you see it on their
and
face while they're
for me,
singing.
it's very new because in Italy, sometimes there's a lot of bravo, bravo, and brava, and everything. And then it's just like you feel inside, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love that even the audience, sometimes they're super serious. But like when they really come to you and they say something, there is no any doubt. They really mean it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anyone in Latvia who would come to the performer, even if it's your friend, and they would say a compliment.
If they don't
If
It's
they
not
don't
honest,
mean
yeah.
it, yeah, it's
So it's
true.
really a quality that I appreciate a lot here. Sometimes it's very tough if nobody comes.
Yeah. Lithuania and Latvia has really good quality control of your work.
Yeah, they're
Like it's
yeah.
really like you
And
know
it's not
exactly
only
like
artists.
how
It's like in a
with
culture.
everything.
It's
In Austria, though, from my experience, after the work, even if you hate it, it's like, oh, very nice.
Yeah, I know. That's why I
I
made
really
this comment. Yeah.
appreciate what you did there. Very good lighting, very good, very good stage design. I like the dramaturgy.
The seats were comfortable.
Just don't come to me
Yeah.
then. Like, it's okay to not like it, or just say that you don't like it. Critique is there to grow, but it's how you say it.
But there are both sides for it. For example, work in progress, concept of work in progress in Latvia is quite new. And that's sometimes because I did a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
don't
work in
understand.
progresses here. And sometimes I really feel like the people not from the field, they were like, if it's not ready, why you show it?
Yeah, they don't get this.
Yeah, I mean, this is also another part that people want a quality.
But that makes sense, actually.
And the work in progress is really difficult to say, like,
No, but-
it's a 1 week
But
of...
if you
Yeah.
say it like this, if you say it like if it's not ready, why do you show it?
Yeah, exactly. But
But
they have
I
this
can
already.
get
Yeah.
totally on board with that, you know? It's like
But it's like every residency asks the work in progress.
That-
every
that's
time
maybe the problem.
every time artists don't want it, but then they're like, yeah, that's nice to share the work. Everyone hates it, I think, more
But
or less.
in Lithuania or Latvia, if you share your work before, no one's gonna come to your performances because there's
Yeah,
not
that's
enough
true.
people living here. You
Yeah.
can never do like a tryout week or whatever because then everyone has seen it already.
And also
Oh.
people have this mind like, I get the idea. I like it or that. There's no really collaboration. Like maybe I give some feedback and after I come and see like where did it go. I'm not living here and I don't have so much like artist friends, but that's what in 1 year I got this feeling.
Oh, in Lithuania, you have to have thick skin. If you do like a tryout before in front of other artists, like you're gonna know.
I did it
like,
many times.
I was in Lithuania. I was in this
New Baltic dance?
printing house,
Arts
Ah,
printing
yeah.
house, yeah.
and I also had the feeling like that what you're talking about. Like it's like
They're very critical.
interesting work. It's
Really?
good for you.
Yeah, in Vilnius it's a lot. I feel like in Klaipėda, I don't know.
But you know, it's like the thing is like I do work also sometimes depends on the work. Like I always want to target my audience, but like if I do a solo work, I kind of do it also for myself, like very much. So then this work that I worked for in Vilnius, it was like the piece was ready. I just wanted to do the lights, and this was like the last, I don't know, the last week, and I knew the work. I knew exactly what I did, and I knew exactly how I want to do it. And it's like whether you like it or you don't like it, I in a way, I didn't mind. I didn't take this in consideration, but I still felt like this feeling from the audience because we have quite a big audience there in printing house.
Yeah.
Like they were like.
But was it useful for you? Because I'm asking myself lately a lot, is it useful for artists, work in progress? Like,
Well,
people say yes, but...
well, it depends because to get the feedback, not always useful.
Exactly.
But to have an experience of presenting in front of people, always useful.
Yes.
Yeah, for the feedback,
The
that's
piece
what I
needs
feel.
to grow.
I'm not sure if it's so useful for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Feedback.
like, if I ask for your opinion, yes. If I don't ask for your opinion, don't give it to me.
But if people come for work in progress, that's what they think, like, this
I
for.
have this one dancer in the company, like, that works with me, he always gives me opinion, and I
Like,
almost never ask for
Yeah.
don't. If I want it, I will ask.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's just also, I mean, then it's awkward because some people I just don't respect. I mean, that's harsh to say, but I don't need your opinion because I don't respect you as a person. So why would I want your opinion? That's very harsh, but it's then a both way thing, you know, like it's kind of this, if I
And if
respect
you do
you,
a
I'll
different
ask.
kind of work, you have different kind of approach, which completely doesn't apply to what I
Exactly.
do, then your opinion is not
Valid.
It's not valid. It's not valuable in a way. But then you can say, okay, you can extract everything from every opinion. Yes, you can do, but you can save yourself a little bit of this emotional, roller coaster by just hearing this and that.
I mean,
and this
critique
and
is hard for everyone, and your work is kind of like your baby.
It's very fragile.
It's very fragile.
Especially at this like very point. It's like It's like, I don't know how a newborn baby is, but you probably know more about this. But I imagine it's very fragile, and it's like, and the work is also like, if you just show it for the first time, if it's even not yet conceived fully, then it's like you might slap it with something. It's
and
gonna
it's just
hurt.
like, it's always this. It's very heavy.
But do you go as a spectator for a work in progress to see?
I do.
Is it interesting?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
do.
I love that part.
I see everything I can.
I like to go for work in progress and see unfinished things a lot. And also, for me, for example, it's not clear, like, do artists want to hear some feedback or no?
They will ask.
Big pleasure talking with you, sharing your thoughts. I think we can go like this forever.
But we can make a second and a third podcast. We have still 4 minutes.
The thing
Maybe
is,
another
I
vacation.
want anyone to watching this to really appreciate our beautiful background.
Scenery, which took a lot of time to.
To install it.
Yeah, so we have the antlers over there, we have TVs, we have broken lamps, we have the, I don't know, those bowling balls
The
there you cannot see.
glasses.
But it's just all incredible, and it's all real from that place in Latvia, and this is not all in our head, it's not imaginary, it's real.
And you should see what is outside.
Yes,
It's incredible.
it's definitely a place to come and visit.
Yeah, yeah.
And we are in...
Ligatne.
Latvia.
This is because we never
In the
named the
middle of the
place.
forest.
Ligatne.
No, he said like in the
You
beginning.
said
of
it?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot pronounce it, but I said.
I don't have the
Probably I said
pronunciation.
Ligatne, but it's Ligatne, right?
Ligatne.
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 Liga.
Yeah, if you
Ligatne.
make it long, it's good.
Around Vita's Day Festival also.
2020.
2020, baby. Corona year. Not to forget for the future.
Okay, pleasure, and thank you very much, guys and girls.
Thank you.
Thank you.